Please continue to tip. That helps a ton. The tips are my life's blood day to day. I can't have tips completely drying up now in the next several weeks because we have gifted memberships. That would literally be disaster for me. I would not be able to pay anything. That would be really, really, really bad. If I need to buy a new game today, tips pay for it.
Internet streamers. One of, if not the biggest, subgenre of online content creators. And while some are good, some are bad. Yeah, real hot take, I know. And regarding the second category of those two, today we are going to be talking about a YouTube streamer by the name of DSP Gaming. Now, if you've never heard of this guy, he's been streaming for quite some time at this point, and while he hasn't been disliked for that entire time, recently he's been starting to do some questionable stuff that has kind of damaged his reputation. One of those things being begging on pretty much every live stream he does. And, well, there is one other thing that he has done that has kind of damaged his reputation a bit, but I'm not gonna talk about that. If you know, you know. But what we are gonna talk about today is this clip from a stream of his where he sits there for about 5 minutes begging for more donations, while simultaneously saying that the memberships people are paying for every month are not quite good enough for him. Really sounds like the kind of guy I'd like to give my money to. Maybe by the end of this we'll all be giving him our money. I guess we gotta hear out his argument, huh? Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Outside of all of that, the only other thing that I want to say before we move on to one important news story that I'd like to talk about today. I'm incredibly grateful for the overwhelming support in the last 24 hours with these gifted memberships. Seriously, 100 memberships in 24 hours. Didn't I tell you this was going to happen? I knew it. And thank you guys for that. Thank you for living up to what I thought was going to happen. Seriously, pretty awesome.
Alright, 100 memberships in 24 hours. I went and looked on this guy's channel, and the membership rates at the lowest are $4 a month. So that means that this guy was given $400 from random strangers in the span of one day. And that's the minimum. I'm sure some of them joined the higher tier membership, so this could have easily been $500, $600, $700. And he's about to complain about this.
That people have supported in this way. I appreciate it. However, I do have to emphasize something, alright? Tips are very important to me in my business, and here's why. Tips are the liquidity of my business. And what I mean by that is that's the cash flow that I get that I can use to spend on things on a daily basis. If I need to buy a new game today, tips pay for it. If I need to buy something for the business, tips pay for it. Bills and stuff behind the scenes, generally tips pay for that.
Alright, so as somebody who does YouTube full-time, I understand what this guy is saying in a sense. Yes, when you're trying to balance bills, groceries, buying gas, paying rent, all of this stuff, and you're only paid one time a month, which is what YouTube does, I can understand it putting you in a sticky situation. But if you have not managed your money to be able to afford the things you need to live from what you've chosen to do as a job, you should not go to your audience saying that it's their responsibility to give you donations so you can survive. Especially not after they've just given you a bunch of people's weekly wage overnight for essentially nothing. I mean, you just don't do this.
The Nintendo Online that I'm going to get on the Switch, tips are going to pay for that. Okay? Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, grocery shopping, tips. If I have a meal with my wife, tips. You see? The tips are very important.
You know, this really makes me wonder what he's doing with his monthly check from YouTube. I looked at his views and I imagine this guy probably makes like 3 or 4 grand a month just from views alone. That's not including tips, donations, memberships, all that stuff. I mean, what are you doing with that money that you can't survive the rest of the month without daily tips? Are you just blowing it all the day you get it?
So, I understand that people right now are so hyped for the gifted memberships, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, thank you. But I hope that that doesn't mean that people are going to forego tipping, because that would put me in a bad situation. And in particular, and I don't know why you guys, okay, why are you laughing?
I can't tell if this is an act or not. I mean, I'm kind of thinking it is. Because this guy should have a good amount of money unless he's just been blowing it this entire time he's been on YouTube. He's got about 500 million lifetime views, and that's about $2 million on average. Probably more because he's a streamer and does long videos. And then on top of that, because he's a streamer, he's probably made a very significant amount of money from donations and tips as well. And this is all over the span of like 10 years. The guy's probably been averaging like 250 grand a year. Where did all of that go?
laughing my ass off, laughing out loud. Why are you laughing? I'm just going to stop the stream right now. What are you laughing at? Let's hear what's so hilarious. I'm being honest with you guys. And people want to say, oh, I'm laughing my ass off. What's so funny? I would like an answer. Because if you think that me being honest with you is funny, that's up. What's wrong with you?
Well, I think they're probably laughing because you're asking for money while demonstrating that you don't know how to manage it whatsoever. You've been doing this as a job for like the last decade of your life. You should know how the money situation works when you're working on this website. You shouldn't still be struggling with it.
I'm telling you, if all I get this weekend are memberships, I literally can't afford stuff on Tuesday on my day off, and you're going to laugh? Oh, that's funny. Oh, real funny. When you can't go and do something with your family on your day off, your one day off for the week when you're working full-time 6 days a week. That's funny, right? Oh, it's real funny. How about this? It's not funny. You're a all right? I don't like talking about this. I don't.
You know what, that kind of seems like a lie because I've seen many clips of you talking about this. And then going back to what I said earlier, yeah, this has got to be an act, right? I mean, you can't expect anybody to want to give him money after he's treating people like this, right? Right?
And I don't want to talk about it all day, but I don't like people laughing. It's not funny at all. You're a piece of shit if you think that someone who has to live day to day on tips and is funny. Oh, so hilarious that this guy has stuff financially tight. Ha 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 ha. No, it's not funny. Now shut up.
I mean, I don't know you personally, dude, but it doesn't really seem like you're enjoying doing this anymore. If streaming on YouTube is a source of stress, and the way it works to do it as a job is not working for your financial situation, why don't you try something new? I mean, I'm not even trying to be smart, I'm just genuinely asking, because what I've seen from your stream so far, I mean, it really just doesn't seem like you like doing it anymore.
Really? I mean, can you be any more much of a someone on the internet that you don't even personally know? Oh, hilarious. If you guys want to support this stream, by all means, the gifted memberships are great, and please go ahead and do so. That will help me in the long term. Gifted memberships work exactly the same as any other membership or a super chat or a super sticker. It takes a month to a month and a half for me to see any benefit from it. So all this cool gifted memberships right now will help me next month. But that doesn't mean I don't have to pay anything now.
I mean, yeah, that's how it's always worked on YouTube. I mean, I just don't understand. Do you forget this every month? Do you get your check, go out and buy, I don't know, $4,000 worth of video games and then get home and say, oh crap, I still gotta pay bills? I mean, pretty much every other person on the planet gets paid either every other week, every week, or once a month. You don't see them going up to random people saying, hey, I accidentally blew my entire paycheck. Can you give me part of yours?
Understand? So please continue, especially if you were someone who regularly did tip. Please continue to tip. That helps a ton. The tips are my life's blood day to day. I can't have tips completely drying up now in the next several weeks because we have gifted memberships. That would literally be disaster for me. I would not be able to pay anything. That would be really, really, really bad.
And guess what? That would really, really, really be your fault. Not the fault of the people who are already giving you their hard-earned money. I mean, seriously, this is not rocket science. It's not hard to understand. Seems like you have dug the hole you are in.
I hate to say it. Of course, YouTube has to do this now, right? You might say, oh, Phil, you should be super happy that gifted memberships are live. I am. But did you guys know? Well, you probably didn't know this. So I get paid on the 21st of every month by YouTube, in general. However, if the 21st ever falls on a weekend for me, okay, here's what happens. YouTube's payment gets delayed by like several days for no good reason.
Huh, yeah. Well, have you ever gone to a bank on a weekend? They're kind of not open. So that's a pretty decent reason for not getting the money on the 21st when you're supposed to. Hard to transfer money when the thing that's transferring money is closed. Well, that's really where the begging portion of that clip ends. DSP, if you ever see this man, no hard feelings. I just think you might want to start looking for something else to do. It doesn't seem like you're actually enjoying it anymore, and yeah, content creation is an awesome job, but only if you love it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
subscribe.